Hey everybody, and welcome to another installment of Dear Deja. So let's move on and read our next Dear Deja letter so I can give you guys my response. Dear Deja, let me start off by saying don't judge. Dear Deja, let me start off by saying don't judge me. I'm a black woman in a biracial relationship. I got this white boy on my roster who be literally feeding me pasta and lobster. Your boy is truly sent from heaven. Handsome, intelligent, successful, thoughtful, and loving. Couldn't ask for better qualities in a man. So lately, we've been trying to spice up our sex life, so we entertained the idea of having a threesome. I was nervous at first because I requested that we invite another man as opposed to what men are used to, which is two women. To my surprise, he was even open to having a black man participate. My man is perfect. So in the last 6 months, we've invited the third party into our bedroom 8 times. Each time it's been more intense and pleasurable, but I have an issue. The last 2 times, my man and the third party had some weird interactions that made me feel awkward. There was no kissing or penetration between the two, just weird touching and stares that made me feel like they want to be intimate with one another. But the kicker to that is, I think my man might feel a connection to the third party because of the way he sees me react to how the third party be fucking me. And I mean, this man be fucking me. Listen, I love my man, and I don't want him to feel he has to compete with another man, and I also don't want to look at my man and wonder if he's a little gay. So I have to put a stop to these threesomes. Here's where you come in. What do I tell my man the reason is I want to stop, and how? Please help. Sign three-way gone gay. Alrighty, then you guys have to excuse me if y'all catch me sniffling. I waited till I became an adult to develop allergies. It's very annoying and stupid, but that's the reality of my situation. All right. All right. All right, my dear. Let's take a sip. Let's take a sip. Hold on, I thought I saw something on my glass. Let's take a sip, right? Um, Let me start off by saying that I'm happy that you're happy in your relationship. That's a beautiful thing. It seems as though, you love your man. You have said it plenty of times. I have this man. I feel like he's perfect, so on and so forth. So that's a beautiful thing. Let me congratulate you there. Let me also congratulate you because it seems as though he's so perfect and you guys are so much in sync that he was at a point where he's ready to do something that you were ready to do and y'all embarked on that journey together, right? Which is having a third party into y'all bedroom and into y'all space, right? So, I mean, that's a beautiful thing to be compatible with a person to that degree where you're on the same page about, new things that you want to try, right? Being in a relationship, I know how important that can be. So congratulations there. Shout out to the white boy in your roster feeding you pasta and lobster, right? As far as the third party situation goes, that was very experimental and very daring, but I also know nowadays it's very common. It's very common. I hear a lot of people, especially celebrities, talk about how they've had three-way, interactions with folks, and you know how much fun it can be and how liberating it is, and da 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 da. Me personally, I've never had the experience, so I don't know, and I also don't have the desire to. So I don't know. I have no real thoughts and opinions on it personally, only because I don't personally have any interest in it. But I want to say something about it, right? Relationship dynamics have changed. Relationships dynamics have changed over the years. Relationship dynamics have changed over the years. So I know what traditional relationships look like from the past. Like, for example, and when I was growing up, it was all about you meet someone of the opposite sex, y'all build and y'all make sure y'all have something solid. Once you feel as though it's solid, you continue moving forward on the path of, we're going to have a future together. If that means marriage, if that meant children, if that meant moving in together, whatever it meant for you guys to move forward as a couple, that's what you did when you felt like you met somebody of some value, and vice versa, right? I think nowadays the dynamics of relationships have changed, and I think one of the things that I noticed has changed is that certain things that wasn't okay when I was coming up is certainly okay right now, which is the third party situation, right? When I was younger, a man, I won't lie, even still now with some people that I'm surrounded by, a man or woman would never feel the comfort to ask their partner, hey, let's try this, right? The partner would never feel the comfort to say, yeah, I'm down, let's do it. And neither one of them would never feel okay to embark on it. But we are in different times. And I think because we are in different times, it seems as though you and your white boy and your rasta feeding you pies of lobster might feel like y'all want to get with the new times. Y'all want to get with the new times and y'all want this to be lit and y'all want your relationship to have some spice and so on and so forth, right? Again, it seems like you both were on board with the whole boom, bop, bop, bam, let's get this rolling, right? It also sounds as though you both enjoyed it because you said out of 6 months, you invited the person over there 8 times, and each time has been more pleasurable. So it sounds like it's a beautiful thing. Right? My only question and my first question would be, how in depth did you and your white boy that's on your roster feeding you pasta and lobster, how in depth did you guys go in talking about what that would look like? And I only say that because anytime you enter a partnership, not just a relationship, anytime you enter any partnership, a friendship, any type of ship, right? There has to be some in-depth conversation about what you guys anticipate and what you look forward to and what you expect. Because if not, when things take place, you will be thrown off your rocker because you didn't plan for this. Granted, not all plans come into fruition. So you could plan from here to the wazoo and something still go left, which sounds like kind of what happened with you guys. But at least you have had conversations that if it does go left, we have a secondary plan or we have something else in place that could kind of serve as a safety net for us too. So my thing was, did you guys really, really think this whole threesome situation through? And if you did you guys have any conversation with each other about what it would look like? Because I also know that relationships do that as well. Again, family relationships, romantic relationships, friendships, work relationships, whereas one person could have thought it through and could have planned about what's going to take place and yada, 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 in any event that things go out of sort. But they didn't share any of those thoughts or plans with the other person. So now when the things jumped off, it seemed like you was only looking out for yourself and you only had your own back because you knew what you was going to do, but you ain't put me deed to what was going to go on when this situation jumped off. And now I'm looking at like a fish out of water and I'm looking at you crazy like, oh, word? So we ain't in this together? So what I think I would have to ask first is, did you guys have any in-depth conversation? I'm saying in-depth because you only shared like surface-like conversation. It sounded like you just was like, yo, or he just was like, yo, I got an idea. And then the other person was like, oh, yeah, that's lit. And then you was like, but can it be lit like this? And he was like, oh, yeah, it could be lit like that and even litter like this. And then y'all just went in. You didn't go into detail and say, well, no, we sat down, we talked, we actually went through a selection process, we tried different people out. Like, did you guys really, really have conversation about that? Secondly, if you did you guys also get from one another the pros and the cons, right? Because, hold on one second. Right, because in any situation that you have, that's life, such as life, there is pros and there is cons, right? And I know a lot of times people don't always want to talk about the pros and the cons of a situation because sometimes people are like, oh, God, you jinxing it or you going to mess it up or why you worried about that? But you have to be realistic as adults and worry about all the things that could go right and some of the things that could go wrong. And I think if you guys would have had some conversation about the pros and the cons, then maybe there would have been room to kind of talk about, hey, what if we get into this situation and one of us develops feelings? What do we do about that? What if we do get into this situation and one of us develops feelings? Should we be honest and share that? Do we have to say it, or does it have to be because I'm developing feelings? I'm saying I don't want to do this no more, but I don't really want to tell you why. Like, did you guys talk about the pros and the cons? Now, granted, I'm not saying that because you said your white boy, your roster that be feeding you lobster and pasta, said that he developed feelings. I'm just using that as an example. What you said is that there was some weird exchanges between them two that you observed. Again, it goes back to the depth of the conversation. What was allowed and what wasn't allowed? What was allowed and what wasn't allowed? Because I remember having a conversation with a friend that was participating in some of those behaviors, and my friend shared with me how their partner wasn't allowed to climax with the third party, right? So it might be okay for us to all participate, but the end result, which is the climax, that's for me and you to share because we're the actual couple, right? So that's what I'm wondering. Like, was it rules? Was it regs? Was it things put in place? Was it no goals? Was it was it any structure surrounding it? I mean, was this person a stranger? Like, was there things put in place so you guys knew the parameters of, listen, we don't want this to get out of hand. Now, from what it sounds like you guys genuinely went into it with the mind frame, and with the mind frame of, no, we want to go have some fun, and this is what we think would be fun. I want to know, what does fun look like for your dude? What does fun look like for your white boy that's on your roster feeding you lobster pasta? Like, what does fun look like for him? Because maybe fun for him is those weird exchanges or weird glances or weird moments that you said that they're having, and that you're not, really too happy about. Maybe that's fun for him. Did you guys have this conversation? Forget about did y'all have the conversation. Do you know your boo well enough to know if that is what he's into? If so, is that something that, would be okay with you? Like, there is a lot of factors here, and I know it's going to sound crazy because a lot of times when you're doing these type of things, from what I understand, I'm sorry, you guys. From what I understand, it's supposed to be fun, right? It's supposed to be, no, we're only getting together to have a good time. It's not all of this calculation and moving and sticking and, oh, let's go through all the rules and the regs, because that kind of takes the fun out of it. I get that. I actually understand it. I just don't agree with it because when you don't factor in reality, which is parameters surrounding situations, then you have things occur that you didn't plan for. And when those things occur, you're kind of thrown off your rocker because you didn't plan for them. So that's what pretty much, I'm sorry, my allergies are killing me, you guys. That's what it sounds like pretty much happened here. It sounds like some things are taking place that you didn't anticipate and plan for, and because of that, you want to find a way to put a stop to this, but you're struggling with how. All right, so let's move on to what that's going to look like. I did hear that you have that white boy in your roster. You had that white boy in your roster and he feeding you pasta and lobster, right? I heard that part. I got that part. I actually love that part, right? But you didn't share how long you guys have been in a relationship. Because what I do know about the length of a relationship is sometimes can determine the strength of a relationship. So if you guys have been together a significant amount of time, you know each other really well, you can pretty much determine if your sexual partner was making those faces or having those weird glances or doing those weird things. You can pretty much determine if he was, sexually aroused by this other party, right? And you can also determine if that's something that's not a surprise to you. Is it something that, you could foresee happening, things of that nature, right? Now, if it is something that you feel like is not a surprise, right? It's something that, I never seen it before, but now that it's taking place, it kind of doesn't shock me. That is something that y'all need to be talking about overall as a whole. Whether y'all going to continue with the threesomes or not, if there is a possibility that you think or that your partner is bisexual, if that's not something that you wasn't made aware of from the beginning, y'all need to have some discussion about it. Y'all need to have some real in-depth discussion about it, because if he is bisexual, is that what you want to continue dealing with in a relationship? Because let's just say there is times where you guys cut this person off, but then you think about, hey, we might want to have a little bit more fun again. Let's invite another male in. Will you be uncomfortable with that knowing he's bisexual? All right, so that's something that y'all need to talk about overall. Whether y'all talk about him being attracted to that man in that moment, I think just maybe asking a question overall of, are you? Is that something you struggle with? Are you not sure if that's something you are? Did you just figure that out? Is it true? Is it not? You know what I'm saying? Because you definitely want to be in a relationship with the way you describe this one, like he's perfect, with somebody you know. with somebody you know, because it's not an issue if you're bisexual. It's an issue if you are and you didn't tell me. Right? And that goes with anything. That goes with anything. That's just like if you're a Muslim, right? I don't have an issue with your religion. I have an issue that you kept it from me. Because anything that you keep from me, it also affects me, because it may be something that I have to question if I want to be in relationship with. Right? So I think flat out just having a conversation of, we have fun with that. I don't want to do that anymore. But let me ask a few questions about some things I observed and what I feel like I learned in that space. And you guys can talk about it. Hey, are you bisexual? Hey, were you sexualized? Hey, did you feel about the way me and him were going at it? Did that turn you on? Did it turn you off? Did you feel jealous? You need to be asking these questions, because it seems like whether you guys are participating in a threesome action or not, you still want a relationship with this man. You want to be in a relationship with somebody you know, right? You don't want to have to worry about finding out new things in the midst of the moment, because it will drive. Like, all right, I'll give you an example. I love Girlfriends. Girlfriends is one of my favorite shows, right? I think I can see some of my personality in all four of the women on there. One of the women on there was Tony. Tony was portrayed as a gold digger, but in her mind, she grew up poor. She made a good living for herself, so she didn't want to marry anybody where she would have to go back to living poor because they didn't have money. So for her, she had to date men who had money. She met Dr. Garrett Todd. In her mind, you're a doctor, you're a plastic surgeon, yada, 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 you have money. When he finally revealed to her that he didn't have money at the time, that was his point. I don't have a lot of money right now, but I have a plan to make money. Tony could not stomach that, and they never ended up making it out of that run. They ended up getting a divorce because the fight started from there, and it kept going. And in my opinion, I didn't really care about the fact that Dr. Garrett had passed. God forgive me, had passed away. What am I talking about? I didn't really care about Dr. Garrett being broke, even though, because he was saying it was at the moment, I cared about, but you should have led with that, because this is something I need to know, because then I need to make a choice if I want to deal with that. And that is what you give a person that you are in relationship with, right? You give them honesty, especially when it's regarding you. So I think you can flat out say to him, listen, we just embarked on a new chapter in our relationship. I love you. I want to be with you, so on and so forth. But there is some things that I feel like I observed in that space, and I want to have some conversations about them, because if there's some things about you that I need to know them now. I need to know them now. And if he gets offended about that, then I don't know what to tell you, because there's no reason to be offended about me asking you about you. As a matter of fact, I shouldn't even have to ask you. You should have been telling me about your ass if there's something that you didn't tell me already. Okay? Okay. Right. So, no, you can ask. I mean, that's the long and the short of it. You don't have to really go into details, because what I know about people is if they feel embarrassed about something or uncertain about something, when you approach them on it, they will try to deny it. And because what you feel like you observed is not a guaranteed fact, right? Because he didn't come out and tell you he did it, the other gentleman didn't come out and tell you he did it, you're just saying that's what you feel like you saw, he may try to deny it. And that may cause an issue, because if it didn't happen, he's going to be pissed for you making an accusation, and that's going to cause a rift. And if it did happen and he's not ready to have no discussion about it, he's going to lie about it. And that's going to cause an issue for you too, either way. Right? So I think the only thing that you can do is tell him what you feel like you observed, and then you can start asking questions surrounding that observation. Again, the only thing he can do is lie or tell the truth, and then you have to make your choice from there. Right? You cannot say, oh, well, I just need to know he may not tell you the truth. He may not tell you the truth. That may be the long and the short of it. He may tell you the truth and you may not believe it. He may tell you, nah, you know what I'm saying? I just got caught in the moment. I was so busy. He could have a totally different idea for what that looked like. And for you, that's how you could have felt. Who knows? This could all be in your mind. It could not be. Like, it's a lot of factors here. It's a lot of factors here. Before you go making accusations against your white boy in your roster that be feeding you lots of pasta, and you lose out on something that you view can be potentially your future, you rather not make a rift that you don't have concrete, solid information on. So you're just going into it saying, I feel like this is what was taking place. Now, you can let me know if that's really what happened or no. But I got to let you know what I feel. right? And again, he could either tell you the truth or he could lie. But what will be an insult that I can guarantee you is if he tries to get defensive about it, because I'm only sharing with you what I felt like I saw. If that's not the case, that's not the case. What is upsetting you, right? And I have to ask you things about you because I'm in a relationship with you, and I need to know who you are. Right? So, I mean, that's the long and the short of how you approach it. And once you approach it from that standpoint and you get whatever answer you get, then you make the decision of if you want this to continue, if you don't want it, however you want it to go. So that would be my question to you if we was in a one-on-one session. I would have to ask you, what are you prepared to deal with and what are you prepared to let go of? So let's just play devil's advocate and say, he said, well, listen, I don't technically believe that. I don't technically feel like I was giving him no look. I feel like that was all in your head. No, I'm not bisexual. No, I'm not interested in men. We just was having a good time, and that was on that, right? If that is what he says, if you wholeheartedly believe it, will you guys be able to move on? If you don't wholeheartedly believe it, will you be able to move on? Right? Because I think that you have to remain true and solid to who you are. You can't just say, well, because I want a white boy on my roster that be feeding me pasta and lobster, I'm going to step outside of who I am and allow things that I don't want or don't like. Right? So whatever answer he gives you, you have to feel it in your soul and in your heart that it's what is the truth. And then you have to honestly be able to say if that truth is what you can move forward with. Right? Whatever that is. But if it's not something that you can move forward with, then you cannot compromise yourself. You cannot compromise yourself because at the end of the day, you and him will still have an issue because in the future, you'll be asked to compromise yourself again. And you know why? Because he thought you were okay with it. You said you were the last time. And that will create another issue in the relationship. And it will be even worse at that time because y'all going to be further down the line. You're going to be more in love. Y'all going to have more invested, more time and more this, more that. Y'all may even have children by that time. And you know, who wants to go all the way with a person that you perceived red flags that you couldn't deal with from the start? That's the biggest mistake that any person can make. Not just man, not just woman, any person can make. If you see red flags in a person and it's true to who they are, and those red flags are not something that you can deal with, don't keep pushing forward past them because they will time and time again, you will have to revisit them. And if they're not something that you can handle or take or deal with or move forward with, it's going to present an issue until it's over. It's going to present an issue till the relationship is over. And if you believe in your heart of hearts that you deserve all of the blessings that God is going to have for you in a romantic relationship with a person that you see a future with, listen, if that white boy in your roster that's feeding you lobster and pasta, if he ain't it, you will receive it. You will receive it. It just may take a little longer. Right? So I hope and pray that you're able to have this conversation and you both are able to walk away from it feeling good about next steps for your relationship. I love, so I hope that whatever decision y'all make is so y'all can move forward together because it sounds like you're really excited about this relationship and you really love this man, right? So I hope and pray that his truth and his reality, whatever it may be, you can feel that wholeheartedly in your heart and y'all can move forward together. If not, my dear, do not lose faith in the fact that you will have what you desire. It just might take a little more time. Alrighty, so that's it, my girl. That's it. That's the response I have for you if we were having a one-on-one session. Like I said to all my folks, if you're interested in Operation Heal 100 Hearts, you can hit me up for a one-on-one session. I'm Operation Heal 100 Hearts here on YouTube. I'm Operation Heal 100 Hearts on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. I'm here. So if you want a one-on-one session, hit me up. If you want to write in a letter, Dear Deja, right? All you have to do is go to Operation Heal 100 Hearts with an S at gmail.com and submit your letters. You can submit them and let me know who you are and just tell me I don't want you to share who I am with the world. You can submit them anonymously. That's solely up to you. And I will give you your response the same way I'm giving it here. Or like I said, you can set up a one-on-one session and we can do it face-to-face. Make sure you guys go like, comment, share, subscribe. Let me say that again. Go like, comment, share, subscribe. Let me say that for the third time. Go like, comment, share. share. Because a lot of times what I see with these Dear DJ letters is a lot of people, friends and families, have situations similar to what I said in the letter, and I'll see them in the street or they'll DM me and be like, oh my God, my cousin was going through this. And then when I ask, did you share the video? Oh, I forgot. Don't forget. As soon as you hear something that I'm saying that you know might resonate with somebody else, in that moment, copy the link and say, hey, check my girl out. Subscribe to her channel. Like it. Comment. I want to hear you guys' feedback. I always want to hear feedback about what content I put out. That's the reason I'm putting it out. But in any event, thank you to all my folks who love Dear DJ. I have a ton more letters to answer, so I'm going to keep it coming. Thank you always for tuning in. It is greatly appreciated, and stay tuned.